Where do I start? Where do I start? So, guys, thanks a lot for clicking this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Run up them likes. Run up them likes. Where do I start? So, I was expecting a more competitive affair between Atletico Madrid and PSG. We know how defensively robust Atleti could be. And the last time these two teams met in the Champions League, Atleti defeated PSG. Even the PSG went on to win the entire tournament. We know the quality that this Atletico Madrid team under Simeone possesses. They got a lot of really good players. Julian Alvarez, Koke, who came off the bench. And the defense is, they're defensively sound team, and Jan Oblak in goal. We know how quality he is. He's been there for a while. Atleti just couldn't put together any type of rhythm today. And I'm at Home Depot right now if you're hearing all of that. But yeah, they just couldn't put together any, really good periods where they dominated the game. And listen, this PSG team continued to look very, very scary. 4-0. It ain't no 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, 3-2, 2-1, 4-0. Just the way they embarrassed Inter in the Champions League final, they embarrassed Atletico Madrid today. Atleti had their chances, but wasn't clinical enough to put them away. PSG, on the other hand, a clinic. They put on a clinic in attack, midfield, and defense. Luis Enrique has this team playing some top-notch football. They're playing at optimum levels. Optimum levels. So let me just refer to my notes really quick. The game was played at the iconic Rose Bowl Stadium in Los Angeles, California. And the game was between PSG, the current UEFA Champions League winners, and Atletico Madrid, a UEFA representative who qualified on rankings. Ousmane Dembele, one of the stars from PSG, and Bradley Barcola were both absent through injury. In this game, PSG dominated from the start, and they had Atleti caged in before they scored in the 19th minute from a Desiree Doué layoff to Fabian Ruiz, who smashed in from range 1-0 to PSG. And pretty good stuff. I'm just let me see. That was actually Kvaratskhelia with the assist for that. I think Desiree Doué was definitely involved in the build-up. It was Doué to Kvara and then to Fabian Ruiz, who's getting into the habit of scoring goals for PSG these days. 35 minutes into the game, PSG still dominant. They had over 70% of the ball. And it's something that you expect with Atleti, for them to play without the ball and be defensively sound. But they were just being dominated. PSG had about four to five shots so far in the game, while Atleti only could muster up one. And they hardly ventured into PSG's box up until that time of the game. So another goal came in first half extra time, and it was 2-0 at halftime. Once again, Kvaratskhelia with the assist, and that was what's his name, man? Vitinha with the goal. And ironically, that was from an Atleti attack that was dealt with by PSG, and the transition was so exquisite. Atleti caught out Vitinha, running through and smashing into the back of the net past Jan Oblak, who didn't have a chance to stop that ball. So pretty good stuff. And just in summary, that was a great first half performance by PSG. Atleti, in my opinion, were just void of answers and how to deal with them. They were unable to deal with the dynamism of the midfielders And the attackers and notable mentions, João Neves, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, Desiree Doué, and Kvaratskhelia just, was a menace to Atletico Madrid. That's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to cope with. I think, what's his name? Gonzalo Ramos was a bit off the boil as he had a couple chances and, didn't really execute it, the way you expected a PSG player to execute it. And it just shows that he has not really been heavily involved in the, in the setup. He's been playing, but he's not a starter, basically. If Dembele was fit, he wouldn't start the game. So, pretty dominant first half, if you ask me, man, by PSG. So, guys, not to forget, this is Group B. The next game in Group B would be between Botafogo and Seattle Sounders. Botafogo is such a weird name to say, man. Botafogo. Botafogo. So weird. But pretty dominant first half there by PSG. So Atleti attempted to shake things up by bringing in Koke, who had received the yellow card very early when coming on. And the same happened with two other Atletico Madrid substitutes. Like, as soon as they came into the game, they picked up yellow cards, and that put them under a lot of pressure because you're not able to play the way you want to play. And eventually, of course, Longley got sent off, but jumping the gun a bit there. So Atleti, well, before I get to the Atleti disallowed goal, Kvaratskhelia almost made it 3-0 in the 49th minute. Listen, I don't know who was given man of the match. Let me just double check really quick. But might be Vitinha because he was really good in the game. But Kvaratskhelia, man. Oh, he played a really, really big hand in this defeat here. So let me see. I don't see anything in terms of the, let me see, overview. Yeah, I don't see anything in terms of the, who was given player of the match here. But brilliant performance by Kvaratskhelia. And what a save by Oblak. Or else the game would have been wrapped up there. But Atleti had a chance to come back in the game when they scored through Julian Alvarez. But Koke's tackle on Desiree Doué was deemed a foul on review, VAR review, and the goal was overturned. Atleti made a couple chances, trying to get back in the game. And in my opinion, they were just trying to change things up. And they struggle for rhythm. They just continue struggling for rhythm in this match. But credit to PSG. The way they're playing, you're definitely going to struggle for rhythm, man. So Luis Enrique and his team deserves a lot of credit here. And they're playing like the true champions that they are. Coming off of a season quadruple. Winning everything in France. Winning every competition that they took part in. And they're looking to win this one as well. 77 minutes, things got worse for Atleti when Clement Longley was sent off, and it just summed up the day for the Rojiblancos. Surlat, I don't know how he missed that, but that was an opportunity for them to get back in the game late, and he just, that's what you call a sitter. He missed a sitter of a chance. He had to bury that. That would have given them a great opportunity to maybe a late fight. You never know. You never ever know. Because at that point in the game, it was 2-0, and anything could happen from that point, regardless to if they down 10 men or not. And to add insult to injury, PSG scored a third substitute, Mayulo, after a dangerous attack that Atleti failed to deal with. Great swivel by the youngster. Put it in the back of the net. Game done, sealed, and a handball given on VAR review penalty. Lee Kang-in, the Korean international, stepped up to put the final nail in Atletico Madrid's coffin. I'm really disappointed in Atleti's performance, though. Not gonna lie, really, really disappointed, because a team of their, with their reputation, I expected a lot more in terms of having more possession, controlling the game a bit more, but they just didn't have any answers for PSG. And it's not that they can't deal with PSG, because we saw what they did, but obviously, this is a different PSG. This is a whole different PSG. That game where they beat PSG, I think that was in 2024. Yeah, that was in November 2024. So that's a PSG from 8 months ago. They're a different team. They're a different team. They've just come of age basically, and they're playing as one unit, and no egos, no Mbappe, no Neymar, no Messi there to worry about, and Luis Enrique could just pull the strings from the sideline, and that's what we're seeing, and that's why they won the Champions League so convincing. That's why they went on to win this one so freaking convincing. So just to round off today's the game, it was dominant. Listen, this was domination. 817 passes, right, by PSG. 275 for Atleti. 74% possession of the ball. 26 for PSG. For Atleti. 4 big chances created. 1 for Atletico Madrid. 16 shots for PSG. 5 for Atleti. That was dominance. That was total dominance right there. And PSG, of course, before the tournament, we know they were a team to watch. And now more than ever, we got to keep an eye on PSG, man, because they're looking to win this whole thing. I know Real Madrid would have a say. Man City might want something to say. Chelsea might, or maybe one of the other underdogs from another confederation might have something to say. But right now, PSG are the team to watch. Definitely. But guys, I'm going to continue reacting to these matches, and as the tournament goes on, you know, I'll have more info, and you know, it's still early days. It's just match 3. I'm trying to watch as many games as possible, and I'm trying to watch these games multitasking. I'm driving, I'm at work, I'm at home, and watching these games. So do me a favor, like the video, smash up the thumbs up button, guys. All right. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, but just hit the like button to show your support for the thing. So, guys, I don't want to be super long, but Atleti, they do have to bounce back from this. And their next game, let me see. Their next game, I think their next game might be against Seattle Sounders, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to be up in Seattle, Washington. So, yeah, Seattle Sounders on Thursday. And the PSG next game, they would play against Botafogo. And that game would be, let me see, at the Rose Bowl as well. So, they're going back at the Rose Bowl. And familiar territory, it'll be a hell of a game. I don't know the Botafogo squad. I don't know the Seattle Sounders squad, but I do think that Atleti and PSG are the favorites to come through from this group. But one of those other teams are going to want to have a say. And right now, Atleti, they're injured animal right now. They're going to be dangerous. PSG, they're going to want to be business as usual. You know, just to jump ahead a little bit, right? PSG Group B. They would take on, if they win the group, they would take on the second place team from Group A. So it's looking like PSG looking like, you know, in the quarters. They're looking like they're in the quarters. They're going to be the top 8 favorites to go on to win the tournament, man. But guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Really good performance. I think I covered most bases. Atleti just look a bit flat on the day. Have a lot to work on to get their confidence. Maybe they're jet lagged. I don't know. Maybe it's the heat. I don't know. But let's see if they're able to bounce back from this and, you know, get out of the group. But guys, subscribe if you like the video if you haven't yet done so. And from your boy Dom, thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Talk to you soon.